I'm sure we all remember the massive scandal that was Sam Bankman-Fried, ran one of the biggest Ponzi schemes of all time, and yet he is still getting a pretty good treatment and hiding away all of the little things that he did and all of the corruption that he might have been involved in because it was involving the government and three-letter agencies, and they get to decide whether or not they investigate themselves. So, great system that is here. But apparently, that's exactly what's going on. You can see from some of this stuff here, this is someone talking about what just happened, saying that the prosecutors dropped the additional 5 charges against Sam Bankman-Fried for the trial set for 2024. They say they will consider dropping the dropped charges during his sentencing in March. So these guys are dropping campaign finance violation charges, stuff like that, because as we all know, Sam Bankman-Fried, he gave money to, or donated money to politicians, and that wasn't his money. It was his customers' money that he was taking from them and fraudulently donating to politicians to get some favor so that he could get some favorable regulation so that FTX could remain in a powerful position. And it was just too bad for him that his luck ran out. They ended up going bankrupt. If he didn't declare bankruptcy and actually was able to stick it out a little bit, we probably would have never known that Sam was running a Ponzi scheme because he would have got bailed out by crypto prices going up, especially Solana, because they have a ton of that. So that's just an interesting point too. But this is just them not caring at all, right? You can see some of these responses here saying, this is infuriating. They're both trying to protect the ETFs, all the new crypto, old money participants, and they don't want anyone to dig into the campaign financing charges and see how corrupt everything really is. As well as saying, Sam already had a trial a few months ago, found guilty on all 7 charges that were in that trial, and he was set to have additional trial next year for 5 new charges. That is what's being dropped. That's what they dropped, and claim they consider those charges during his sentencing. So why they're doing this, no one has any idea, right? It just seems very weird, especially because Sam Bankman-Fried ran one of the largest Ponzi schemes of all time in history. He did a ton of fraud because he was donating money that was not his. It was his customers' money. So there's a lot of things to look into here. You would think that the government, the DOJ, would want to look into this insane case of fraud and, just kind of uncover everything to see what happened, but that's not what they want to do. And you have another person saying, they are providing notice to the court and the defendant that it does not plan to proceed with the second trial. So them again, dropping the campaign finance and apparently China bribe counts. So it is just very weird, right? It's insanely weird to see that this is one of the biggest frauds of all time, and we're not looking into it. We're not having trials. We're not digging through everything that happened. Why not, right? That's the big question. Why not? Because as we know, we have here Sam Bankman-Fried donated $100 million in stolen customer funds to the politicians. And the government saying, we don't need to look into that, right? Like, of course they don't want to look into it because they benefited from it. They made $100 million. They made insane amounts of money. So these agencies, the government, everything, it's a dumb look, right? In general, just to say this. And obviously it comes at a time of near Christmas and New Year's, this period where a lot of people aren't online. A lot of people aren't plugged in, aren't staring at this. They're unplugged a bit, spending time with people and enjoying the holidays. And this is when they drop all this stuff because they know people, the majority of people, aren't going to be chronically online like us. And it's going to get swept under the rug. There's going to be some people that talk about it, and then in a couple weeks, no one's going to care anymore, and we're all going to move on to the next shiny thing. If you want to look at some of the politicians that they donated to, this is Unusual Wells has been tracking this for a while. I think he does a lot of stuff with politicians and trading, all this stuff. But this is the campaign finance things, and then he has nearly everyone says who exactly does he give millions to, and this is the list. So it's just obviously vastly Democrat, but still Republicans in there. I think he's said like his partner donated Republicans. He did Democrats to do all this stuff to keep his facade and virtue signaling up. But it's a ton of money. It's a ton of people. And obviously nobody in here, none of these groups are going to want to do anything about it. They all want to say, "Oh, don't look into it." There's no reason to look into it. You know, we settled that when they took stolen money, right? They took stolen customer funds. And to make it even worse, when you look at the FTX bankruptcy and things going on, that the people who have their money stolen and are locked up in FTX are getting screwed every which way they possibly could be, because the payout, or the whatever they're going to pay out, is going to be a fraction of what you had in there originally. Plus, they're going to base it off of the bear market bottom. So take just Bitcoin, for example. They are going to take, if you had one Bitcoin in FTX and it's lost, right now, that's what, $42,000, but they're pricing it at the bear market bottom of like 16,000, and that's what they're going to judge your payback off of, is the 16K, and then you're going to get a fraction of that because of the bankruptcy lawyers and costs and all this stuff, other things that are going on. But that's insane. That is insane. How they can actually legally do that is ridiculous, because if they have the one Bitcoin there, it is not worth $16,000 anymore. It's worth $42,000. How can you market? Who gets the difference? Right? If you give someone, let's say they give them 100%, right? That you get 16K back when it should have been 42. Who gets that difference? Where does that other money go to? And, you know, why is it not going to the person who got scammed? Or the vast majority of it, right? Because all the money's not there, but to be pricing at the bear market bottoms, and then plus getting a cut. So what people are going to get, like, if it's based at 16K, you'll probably be lucky to get 8K, 10K out of this. And that's insane when you're looking at where the prices are now. And there's another post from these guys who have been covering this and talking about it, because it's absolutely ridiculous. And they talk about how, you know, the bankruptcy, or they're getting paid back the value of like the bear market bottom, the 16K on everything, right? Not just Bitcoin, even Sol and Ethereum, and Solana's up a ton since then. You are not getting any. If you had Solana in there, you're getting the bear market base bear like case money. You're not getting what you should be, which is like, where is the rest of that money going? Why are we doing this? How is this even legal? And to see, you know, they don't want to dig into Sam's campaign finance stuff, saying it's a circus, absolute clown world, and it absolutely is. It is insane to see what is going on. It is insane to see them dropping these charges, not caring, sweeping it under the rug, announcing it at a time where, you know, most people are unplugged, and then they're going to move on with their day, pay back people who had money in there, a fraction of what they had originally, and then a fraction of that because they're going to price it at bear market bottoms. This whole thing is just insane. The craziest thing that would happen is if Sam goes into a sentencing and he gets a light sentencing instead of, you know, anything substantial, and gets a couple years in jail and he's out. Maybe then people will see just how insane this system really is, because from this, it looks crazy. If the sentencing comes and he gets, you know, a few years, even if he gets anything less than like 30, 40, 50 years, like, it's going to be weird. Everyone's going to look at that and say, you know, what's really going on here? But I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens with it. Insane case, you know, one of the biggest frauds of a lifetime, and we're not even bothering to look into it. That's going to do it for this video. As always, do me to smash the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video.